Am I live? Oh, perfect. Yes. Hello. Welcome on in, everyone. If you are joining us, welcome on in to Pilates, which is going to be started in 5 minutes 32 seconds. So Pilates is lots of focus on abs, glutes. We'll be doing some balance work. You don't really need anything except yourself. If you know that you like to use a brick and a strap, you just use that essentially as something to sit up on. So maybe you can also roll up a towel, anything at all. If you know you like a little bit of extra support, do feel free. So that's there. Chris has given me for this 5 minutes as my challenge today the topic of banana bread. So what to say about banana bread? Questions on the back of a postcard. Does anyone know why it's called banana bread as opposed to banana cake, banana loaf? Because it's very much a cake, isn't it? It's not, is it? Any answers? Questions? So, not sure, no. So is it? My nan used to make a really nice all-bran and banana cake, and that was fabulous. I'm going to talk about banana bread, as instructed. So, happy childhood memories of banana bread. But yeah, all-bran cake. Do people still have that anymore? That was amazing. So good. Like, all-bran cake where you kind of... Sorry? Hesitation. Oh no, I've been... yeah. But... Yeah. So if what you're not seeing at home, guys, is Chris has given me the topic of banana bread to talk about for 6 minutes, and I've got my mum in the Zoom room going every time I deviate from the topic or hesitate. So, but still, that's filled up. Oh, I've been given release to talk about something else. So, which is good, really. I haven't had my tea yet. Banana bread, lovely. What else have I got to say? I've been distracted now. What are we doing? Pilates. Okay, so Pilates 9. If you want to jump across into the Zoom room and play banana bread bingo, you can do that on the website. So you can jump over to rise.co.uk/online. We've got the tunes up on there as well. So if you fancy listening to some tunes, we've got all of our tunes up there. We've also got our video catalogue up there. So if you find one day you're not able to make it, or you'd like to do something, or you think, oh, I really enjoyed Flex 2, we've got all of our classes up there, so you can check that out, on rise.co.uk/online. Other things to look out for, things I'm excited about. Tomorrow is new Sculpt. It's Sculpt again, so this is Sculpt 4. I'm super excited about this one. So this is yoga Pilates with weights fusion, so little weights. So what I'd really recommend is a couple of wine bottles, some tin cans, 2 500ml water bottles filled up with water works really well. So, and what we're using that for is to get into all of those muscles which help support spinal alignment, and particularly thinking about those muscle groups which are harder to access with body weight alone. So we do lots of work on the back, as well as thinking about intensifying our whole practice. So you can also practice without weights. But yeah, super fun class. Weights, yoga, Pilates, fusion, really focusing on healthy spine, healthy back. So if you do a lot of work at a desk, often you end up with quite tight chest muscles, and often our back muscles are weaker, and that can cause shoulder pain quite often. So we'll do lots of work on that. We'll also use the weights to help build strength in the abdominals. So it's, yeah, super fun. One of my favourite classes. So that's tomorrow at 8:30, and that's a fairly new sequence. Also, that started new this week is our new Pow Pow Power, which I did yesterday on Tuesday night for the first time. And did my legs hurt today? Sneakily difficult. It was just at the time I was like, okay, cool. That felt quite tough. And then today I went out for a little walk, and it was just like one of those sort of robot things. So always good, always what we like. So we've got new Power, and that will be running again on Friday at 4:30 with myself, and Jen will also be teaching it in fancy dress at 9:30 on Saturday. So it's getting to that time of the week where we can start to look forward to what will Chris and Jen wear next. Will their fancy dress kit last for the next 6 months is my wondering. So if you haven't done it before, Chris and Jen dress up on a Saturday to teach. So thus far we've had, what did we have last week? We had Acrobat Jen and Clown Chris. We've had the Hulk. We've had Cowboys. Aladdin was fabulous. So I'm psyched. What will it be this week? So that's Saturday with Jen and Chris, 9:30 and 10:30. All right, we've got just under 30 seconds to get started. So we can probably start to think about coming on down and chilling out. We're going to start in supine today. Coming all the way on down to lie on your back. So you're all super welcome on in. This is Pilates 9. So just start to bring yourself down, start to get yourself settled. Back of the neck is long, closing the eyes. And starting just bringing the awareness towards the breath. Soles of the feet can be together, or you can kick out wide, whatever feels good. So just starting out here in supine in any comfortable position. Starting to feel the hips ground, the feet ground, the knees fall open, the shoulders relax, the eyes and the jaw and the face soften. Deep breaths in and out. So remember, Pilates is all about slow, controlled micro movements, all about muscular awareness, and it's that focus on control, on maintaining alignment, on moving slowly that gives all of the results, helps strengthen the muscles that support healthy spine, helps us develop posture, and helps with general toning and conditioning. So do work at your own level, at your own pace. Do feel free to switch around between levels if you need to. When you're ready, we're just going to take 3 more breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhale. 2. Taking 1 more really deep, full breath in. And from there, drawing the knees in towards each other. Start to give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, feeling into the back body, into the hips. And then from there, grounding down with the feet, palms face down by the sides, engaging the abdominal, shoulders relaxed, back of the neck long, and working through a dynamic bridge. So inhale, rolling up, squeezing in the abdominals, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, chest to chin, and then rolling down again with control. So really slow, really controlled. So here we're aiming just to warm up the spine. So tucking the tailbone, squeeze the core, feel of all of that strength you have, all of that control you have over the spinal position. Noticing what's going on with the knees and the hips as well. Try not to let the knees knock in or out. Try to keep those knees stacking over the ankles. We're rolling up, squeezing the glutes to assist, and rolling slowly down again. Slow, 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 slow. So rippling up, squeezing up. Just gonna admit to folks. So just rolling up and down the spine for another 3. Squeezing up and lowering down. 2. And 1, coming all the way down. Give yourself a little squeeze, give yourself a little hug in. So we're going to work straight into the lower abdominals. So planting the palms face down by the sides, knees are into the chest, lower back is on the floor, shoulders are relaxed, back of the neck long. From there, we're going to squeeze the abs to lift the pelvis off the mat and slowly lower down. So it's a really subtle little movement, our little pelvic rolls. We're squeezing the abs to lift and to lower. Thinking about finding that lovely contraction through the abdominals to lift the tailbone off the mat and then releasing back down again. Shoulders stay relaxed. So squeeze into lift and lower. So just move the hands out the way so you can see. We're just taking that tiny little movement. Try not to swing, but feel that squeeze and lower. So this is all about getting straight into those lower abdominals with the key stabilizer muscles of the spine. So squeeze into lift and lower. Fantastic little exercise. We get loads of benefits here. Essentially using the lower half of the body as a little weight, which we're asking the abs to lift. If you want to progress it, you can squeeze the core, lift the pelvis off the mat. From there, we're going to extend the legs and then slowly lower the legs back down. So you can just lower them as far as the lower back stays on the floor, and then we're taking the knees back in, squeezing in the core, lifting the legs, and slow, 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 lower down. So the really key thing, whenever the legs are off the floor in Pilates, you want the lower back on the floor. So focus on maintaining control. Focus on only lowering the legs as far as you can keep that lower back on the floor. So we're just going to work here for another 5. Thinking about strengthening those lower abdominals. 4, slow lower, knees back in. 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little squeeze there, a little rock and roll. And from there we're going to rock up to seated. And we're going to work into the top half of the sit-up from here. So we're grounding down with the feet, engaging the core, lifting up with the chest. Inhale. So starting off level 1, hands on the knees. We're going to take chin to chest, roll down, squeezing in the core. So make sure the abs are doing the work here. Keep the feet on the ground and then squeeze the core. Lift on up, chest reaches forwards. So slow, slow, slow down. Thinking about rolling down, keeping the tailbone grounded, the feet grounded, and then we're squeezing on up, using the muscles of the abs to lift up, finding that lovely long spine. If you want to take it further, we're going to roll back, arms stay out in front of you, squeezing to lift. Perfect, and lower. So really strong movements. Just coming down as far as you can, squeezing on up. So this is the top half of the sit-up. Sometimes we rush through this lower, we're getting loads of work here. So as in the last exercise, we were using the weight of the legs. Here we're using the weight of the upper body and we're making the abs lift and lower. Squeezing in, nice work. We're going to work here for 5. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, moving slowly with control, really powering up, nice work. 4, 3, well done. Squeeze, lift. 2. And 1. Coming up there. From there, we're going to take the hands behind the back of the legs, and we're going to come into this little bound boat. From there, we're going to rock forwards and backwards, trying to catch the balance at the top. So that's level 1. We've just got the hands behind the back of the legs. So we're squeezing in the core, thinking about just rocking forwards and backwards. So squeezing in, rocking up and back again. If you want to release the arms, feel free. If you want to take the legs straighter, feel free. So just rocking up and down, squeezing in the core, holding on around the backs of the legs, releasing the legs, or taking the legs up straight, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try not to let the toes touch the floor. So you're using momentum a little bit, and then you're resisting momentum by squeezing in the abs, finding that balance at the top. Awesome stuff. So a little bit of fun, really nice way to work into abs, working here for 5. Squeezing in the core. 4, nice job. 3, 2, and 1. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug in there. Awesome stuff. Just one more little exercise in this set. We're going to take a little just a basic sit-up. So option 1, we've got chin to chest, palms on the thighs. We're going to take chin to chest, squeeze the core, lifting the shoulders off the mat. Make sure it's the squeeze of the abdominals that's powering that lift, and then we're slowly lowering down again. So chin to chest, squeezing in the core, reaching up, and then slow lower down. So option to stay there. We're just thinking about chin to chest, squeeze the core, make sure it's the contraction of the abdominals that's lifting, and then we're lowering down again. Option to take the legs out long, the arms over the head, squeezing in the core, chin to chest, rolling up, lifting up at the top, and then we're taking a little forward fold, and then we're rolling down again. So really slow and controlled. We're thinking about chin to chest, squeezing in, reaching up at the top, and taking that little forward movement. Option to take that into a normal sit-up. We're taking chin to chest, squeezing in the core, reaching up at the top, shoulders back, and then lowering back down with control. So really, really slow lowers back down. Try and keep the feet grounded. Remember, it's chin to chest first, and it should feel like the abdominals is doing all of the work. Don't worry if you want to switch around between levels, just take it at your own level. Working here for just 5, so squeezing to lift and lower with control. Really great way to build abdominal strength, to practice control through the spine. 4, well done. 3, lifting up. 2, and 1, release. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug in. And from there we're going to rock up and find our way to table pose. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Thinking about spreading the fingers out wide, engaging the core. Thinking about pressing really hard with the hands into the mat, crown of the head reaching forward, slight tuck of the tailbone. So we're thinking about finding a long spine. So notice if you tend to drop the tummy, we're going to squeeze and focus on length. From there, we're going to move into Superman. So the right hand and left foot extend, keeping the rest of the body stable, and then reset. So we're thinking about extending out, squeeze, reset. So trying to maintain length in the spine, strength in the core, moving slowly with control. If you want to take this into plank, feel free. So we're going to lift opposite hand and foot, opposite hand and foot in a plank. If you want to add in a knee drive, you can as well from a table. So arm and leg extend, and then we're going to drive knee to nose, extend and reset. So all the time thinking about slow movements, and remember that core is staying engaged. As you extend that leg behind you, squeeze the glutes, try not to wiggle from side to side. And of course, if you're feeling super fiery today, you could take that same movement from a plank, extending opposite hand and foot, and then driving knee and elbow together, extending, resetting. So just working at whatever level suits you, focusing on stability. Always find it a lot harder on one side than the other, on keeping the core engaged. So remember, you've got lots of options. You're welcome to switch around between options, thinking about what works for you, what your body needs today. Working here for another 5. So we're building strength in the core, in the shoulders, in the arms. 4. Well done. 3, 2, and 1. Dropping to the knees there. From there, we're going to take a quick little shoulder stretch. Left hand plants. Inhale, the right hand reaches up to the sky, and then taking your right shoulder down onto the mat. Left hand out in front of you. Have a little wiggle around, a little stretch, and just find whatever variation of a little shoulder stretch works for you. Breathing into the spine, breathing into that right shoulder. Finding length down the side body. Inhaling. Exhaling, stretching out there. For 3, deep breaths in. And out 2. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. And from there, left hand plants, come back up to table. And moving into our second side, left hand plants, right hand plants, so left hand lifts, inhale. And exhale, take a little twist. Left shoulder comes down to the mat, left ear down towards the mat, right hand extends out in front of you. Finding that lovely stretch of the left shoulder, extending down the right side of the body. Deep breaths in. And out. Well done. So lovely deep breaths here. Letting the chest relax down. Just taking a moment to start to find space. Release the shoulders for 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. 1 more deep breath in. And out. From there, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and from there we're going to just tuck the toes and find our way to a plank. So we're going to move our little bolt exercise here, so thinking about spreading the fingers out wide. We're going to send the hips behind us, so the knees are coming towards the mat, and then we're going to roll forwards back into plank. So sending the hips back towards the heels, almost like a little squat, and then squeezing the core, rolling back to plank. Option to stay there. Remember, you can drop to the knees anytime if you need a little rest. Option to add in a knee drive. So hands under shoulders, hips to heels, squeezing in the core, and then drive knee to nose as you move forward. So finding a little pulsy squat, plank, and then knee to nose, strong through the core. So we're thinking about maintaining that strength through the hands, making sure the shoulder blades are coming apart, making sure that we're moving slowly with control. Squeeze and drive. We're going to come up to standing next, working here for 5. So moving with control. Squeeze and drive. Long spine. 4. Focus on the breath. 3. Drive knee to nose. 2. So working to the quads here. Really fantastic way to strengthen these muscles as well. And 1. Find your way to plank. And from there, we're just going to walk the feet towards the hands, finding our way into a floppy forward fold. Having a little shake out there, a little wiggle out, a little sway from side to side, letting the whole of the spine relax, the head relax, the shoulders relax. Deep breath in. And out. One more inhale. Exhale here. And from there, chin to chest, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way up to standing. All right, nice job. Okay, we're going to move straight into a squat or a squat and twist. So we're going to take the fingertips to temples, feet are slightly out, core is engaged, shoulders back, and from there we're going to sink down and come on up. So that's option one. Remember, the hips are coming out behind us. We're focusing on squeezing the glutes, finding that power through the legs, opening through the chest. So sinking down and then squeeze to lift. Focus on control. Welcome to stay there. Welcome to add opposite elbow to knee. We're taking a little twist. So this is a really great standing abdominal exercise, working to the obliques. So we're working on balance as well. So stand, twist, and crunch. So we're thinking about that fluid movement. Squeeze, twist. Lovely way to mobilize the lumbar spine. Awesome stuff. So working there. If you'd like to take it further, we're going to sink the hips down and then squeeze, lift off, and take arms out wide, kick out with the foot, working that balance stuff a little bit longer, and then come back through center. So sinking down with the hips, squeezing the core to lift. Remember, balance comes from the abdominals, arms and legs extend, and careful return. Try and make sure the hips are coming out behind you, and try and set the foot down silently. So thinking about silent set down. We really want to focus on a sensation of control in these movements. So slightly different from if we're doing it in a HIIT class. We're trying to really focus on slow, squeezy movements. Maybe if you've been working this sequence a little while now, feeling a little bit more controlled, a little more stable here, squeeze the core. Focus on that breath as well. Remember, we're using the breath, inhaling. Exhale. The exhale naturally squeezes in the abdominals, so that's a great place to twist if you can. So we're thinking about building strength in the quads and the glutes here, and the abdominals. Quads and glutes, super important for lumbar height, spine health. Perfect. Remember, you're welcome to switch around between levels. Looking great, everyone. Working here for 5. So balance, a super important skill to develop. It helps us strengthen the legs and the abs, and also, of course, really important skill to develop for injury prevention in everyday life. 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Release. Perfect. All right, give yourself a little shake out and come into the center of your mat. We're going to take a lateral lunge. So starting off in the center of the mat, we're going to step out wide, sinking down. We've got knee over ankle, hips are coming out behind us, strong through the core. And then we're going to come up through center and just step to the other side. So sinking down, squeeze, and drive. So when you come back through center, really focus on the muscles of the standing leg engaged. So you should feel the quad engage and also feeling the abdominals engage. So sinking out wide, make sure the hips are moving out behind you. We're finding a stretch, and then we're squeezing, driving on up. If you want to take it further, we're going to add a knee drive. So we're going to sink out wide, we're going to drive knee to chest, and reset. So we're sinking out, stretching out, and then squeeze, drive that knee in towards the core. So thinking about moving with control. Hopefully starting to build up a little bit of heat here as well. Drive that knee into the chest. So we're stepping out wide, feeling that power in the legs. Really important to find lateral movement. Often in everyday life, we tend to move in a quite one-directional fashion. So we tend to always be moving forwards, running, cycling. When we're walking, we're sitting. So really nice to work those muscles. The side body often can be a little bit neglected, and that can cause imbalance in the body. So stepping out wide, squeezing to lift. Remember, you don't have to take that knee drive. Awesome stuff. Looking good at home. Working here for 5. So slow, controlled. Stepping out 4. Really focus on those abs, supporting that balance at the top. Big toe, little toe, heel grounding. 3. Well done. 2. And 1, release. Great job. Give yourself a little shake out. And from there, we're going to roll on down, plant the hands, walk the hands and feet apart, and we're in a plank. So we're going to work our little plank walkouts here. So we're going to walk hands back towards the feet. Try not to wiggle the hips too much from side to side, bending the knees where we need to, finding ourselves in a floppy forward fold, and then we're going to walk back again. So walking out from plank into that forward fold. Really focus on the abdominals helping you out here. So it's almost like you're taking a pike. So thinking about that little squeeze of the core, pulling the chest towards the thighs. So we're thinking about pressing the hands really hard into the mat. If you want to take this down level, remember you don't have to walk the hands all the way out to plank. You can just come some of the way and back again. If you'd like to take it further, do feel free to throw in a press up. So coming out to a plank, and either from the knees or from the hands, we're just going to take the elbows out of 45, take a little press up and walk back again. Really focus on the core supporting a long spine here. So we started off class by working into the lower abdominals, and then we're getting a bit more into the upper abdominals here, working our planks. We've also worked the obliques in our standing sequence. So getting into all of those muscles of the core, as well as arms, shoulders, and those muscles of the legs, those big muscle groups, the glutes and the quads. Really important as well. Working here for another 5. So moving with control, walking the hands forwards and backwards. 4, remember the press-ups are optional. 3. 1 more, walking out. And from there, dropping to the knees, finding your way to table pose. So we're going to take another little lateral movement here. So from our table pose, the fingers are spread out wide, core is engaged, pressing really hard with hands into the mat. The left foot lifts, and from there we take the left foot out wide and back again. So try not to lean into one arm. It's really tempting to let this right arm come floppy. If you need to come down onto the forearms, feel free. If you need to take the weight off the wrists. So we're squeezing the outer glute as we kick forwards and move back. If you want to mirror it with the movement of the right arm, that's really nice. Taking the right hand out in front of the left foot back, keep that left foot flexed to engage the quads, and then we're taking it out to the side and back again. So again, we're working on balance and we're working on strength. So we're getting into the outer glutes here, really important muscle to strengthen. Thinking about keeping the core engaged, the spine long. Perfect. So kicking out, stretching, and coming back in. Don't worry about how far you come, we're just finding that sensation. Working to the obliques as well for 3. Well done. 2. And 1, swapping over. So planting the hands, engaging the core, long spine. Right foot is going to lift, and we're moving the right foot forwards and back again. So thinking about kicking forwards from our table pose, back again. Remember, you can be down on the forearms if you need to. If you want to, you can take the left foot hand forwards as the right foot comes back, and you're moving the left hand back as the right hand moves forwards and stretching out long again. So loads of options here, working to the side body. We're feeling that lovely stretch into the outside of the right leg. That lovely burn in the outside of the right leg. So working here with control, spine stays long for 5. So we're kicking out, lengthening out 4. Well done. 3, kick, kick, kick. Almost there. 2. And 1, release. From there, finding your way to a kneeling position. Just working into our little hip thrust with a chest opener, a little mobilizing exercise. So we're going to start off with hands on the knees, engaging the core. Remember, we're squeezing the glutes, opening up through the chest, stretching out through the chest, and returning back. So we've worked the chest muscles quite hard in our planks. So we're taking hands to knees, and then we're going to squeeze to lift, open out through the heart, stretch out, and slow, controlled movement back again. Perfect stuff. So squeeze, 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 open up, feel those glutes fire up. Nice job. Very slowly rolling back with control. Perfect stuff. Working here for just 5. Squeeze, squeeze and open. Slow release back. 4. Well done. 3. Lifting up, stretching up, opening through the heart. 2. And 1. release there. Sending both legs out in front of you, and we'll take a quick little stretch. So soft bend through the knees, finding the sit bones. Inhale, reaching up, angling the body forwards, starting to shimmy the hips out behind you, stretching into a double leg forward fold. So at this point, if you know you like to use a strap, you're super welcome to take a strap around the ball of the feet, or you can also take a big deep bend in the knees. Absolutely any variation that feels good for you. I like to start off with a bend in the knees and then shuffle my hips out behind me so I can start to find that stretch to the spine. Whatever feels good. We're aiming to get into the hamstrings and into the lower back. Trying to breathe your way into it. So on an inhale, feel the crown of the head reach forwards. Tailbone grounds the whole of the lower back, stretches out. Exhale to relax. 4 steady breaths in. And working here for 5. Deep breaths in. And out 4. So relaxing the shoulders, letting the spine relax and extend. 3. So feeling that inhale, expand and release the lower back. 2. 1 more inhale. Exhale. From there, rolling on up, and we're going to find a little teaser balance. So finding the sit bones, engaging the core. You can have the hands planted behind you. You could hold on around the backs of the legs. If it's available to you, you can release the arms. Maybe you're extending the legs. We're going to squeeze and hold there. So any of these variations, we're focusing on a static hold. We're really squeezing the core to lift up with the chest. So you can hold on around the backs of the legs if you need to, or plant the hands. The idea is we're just balancing on the tailbone. We're lifting up, stretching up, nice work. Static hold, working here for 10. So long hold, little challenge, 9, squeezing in the core. Feel the chest reach forwards, the shoulders down the back, long spine, 8, almost there. 7, squeeze, hang on in there, you got this. 5, count a little bit faster. 4, hang on in there, deep, deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1, great job. Planting the hands, planting the feet firm, a little bit of table pose today, reverse table, planting the hands behind you, fingertips facing forwards. We're pressing up to reverse table, squeezing the glutes, opening through the chest, and then we're slowly lowering down again. So option to stay there, just working our reverse table, or option to pull the hips through the hands into a reverse L sit, and then we're squeezing to power on up, and then we're taking our reverse L sit. So we're thinking about really focusing on that back body power squeeze. Remember, reverse table is all about the glutes. So we're aiming to strengthen the glutes, open up through the chest. We're using the abdominals to keep the hips off the mat, the hands to keep the hips off the mat. Perfect stuff. So squeeze and lift, and lower back down. Working here for 5. So power on up, reach up. 4, slow lower back again. 3, 2, and 1, releasing down. So moving into our little saw exercise next. Remember, you've got options. What we're going to do is we're going to take the arms out wide and we're going to reach from one side, squeeze the core, reach to the other. So if we can, we're going to take the legs out wide, and you can sit up on a brick here. You can roll the back of your mat up. You can sit up on have a bend in the knees. If you prefer to take this exercise with the legs straight or kneeling, any other positions, feel free. So we're going to come through center, take the arms wide, inhale, and exhale, twist. Taking left hand to right toes, right hand behind us, inhale to lift through center, exhale to twist. So the idea of this exercise is we're aiming to mobilize, so we're thinking about mobilizing through the spine, opening through the chest. We're using the abdominals to lift through center, and exhale to twist. So inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale to twist around. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist. So taking the arms out wide, focusing on power and strength. Great job. Inhale through center, squeeze. Exhale to twist. Opening up through the heart, lengthening out. Great job. Inhaling. Exhale. Nice way to open up the hamstrings, the lower back as well. Working here for 5. So moving with control, squeeze. 4. Then reach up, stretch up. 3. Nice job. 2. And 1. Coming through center there. We're just going to plant our feet down, roll all the way down to lie on our backs. Give ourselves a little squeeze, little stretch. And from there, we're going to move into some more lower abs exercise. So we're going to take the fingertips to the temples, the elbows out wide, feet are grounded. Option 1, we're going to take chin to chest. We're going to lift one knee as we take opposite elbow to knee, squeezing in the core and returning back through center. So chin to chest, squeeze and cross elbow to knee. So we're working a cross crawl. It's chin to chest, squeeze, opposite elbow to knee, and back again. That's option 1. Option 2, both knees are off the mat. We're going to take opposite elbow to knee, extending with the opposite leg, squeeze and return. So we're keeping the shoulders off the mat. We've got chin to chest. We're taking opposite elbow to knee, and we're taking a little extension of the opposite leg. So just taking our little cross crawl there. Or if you want to, we can take straight legs, and we're going to take opposite elbow to knee, squeezing in the core with straight legs. So both legs are straight, one stays up in the air, the other leg is lower. So really nice way to get into the obliques as well as getting into the lumbar spine. Chin to chest, squeeze and crunch. So you've got option 1, one foot is grounded, and we're just working there. Elbow to knee. Option 2, both knees are off the mat. We're taking that little cross. One leg extends, the other leg is bent. Or option 3, both legs are straight. Thinking about squeezing in the core, working that twist. Inhale and exhale, crunch and twist. Aiming to get into the lower abs here. Make sure the lower back stays on the floor. Make sure the core is engaged tight. Working into the obliques for 5. So squeeze and cross. 4. Well done. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3. Strong abs. 2. And 1. Nice work. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little breather. And then from there, we're going to take the lower legs back into the air. The lower back is going to stay on the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. Option to stay with a soft bend in the knee, or option to extend the legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw little X's in the air. We're going to lower the legs just as far as the lower back stays on the floor, and then we're going to draw little X's back up again. And then we're going to draw a little flutter leg, so it's like we've gone swimming, little up and down legs. And then we're going to take it to the side. So little X's in the air, and then little flutter legs. So if that's not working for you, you can take a normal leg lower. So you're planting one foot down, and we're just going to lift and lower one leg, and then swap over. So if you want to take it down a level, that's an option. If you want to have one leg in the air and take a normal single leg lower with one leg in the air, feel free. Or if you want to work these little cross movements, you can feel free. So drawing little X's in the air, up and down again, and then switching to flutter legs, which is like you've gone swimming. So we're just taking these little variations of a leg lower, taking these little micro movements within our leg lower. Really does help fire up the abs. We're getting some lateral movement. Nice little bit of work for the brain here as we switch in between, something which I find bizarrely difficult. So always good to practice these little moments of coordination as well. So getting right on into the lower abs, squeezing in the core, moving with control. Going to move into some work for the side body next. Hang on in there. Know those lower abs are probably starting to get a little bit burny. So moving up and down. Make sure that lower back staying on the floor. So we're using the abs for this movement. Do remember you're welcome to rest if you need to. Working here for another 5. So slow and controlled. 4. Well done. 3. 2 and 1. Great job. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, and then from there we're just going to roll into it one side, and we're going to set ourselves up for some side lying leg series. So coming down to lying one side. If you need a pillow or something underneath that hip, feel free. Maybe the head is supported. If you want to bend that bottom leg, feel free. Or you can have it extended. Core is engaged, hip above hip, and when you're ready, you're going to flex the top foot. We're going to extend out with that flexed foot, and then we're going to lower again. You want to really flex that foot to help engage the muscles, just lifting and lowering. Try not to throw that leg around, but focus on control, on power. What we're aiming to do here is this whole little series is really going to fire up the outer glutes, the inner thigh. It's that outer glute movement which I've been banging on about all class. We're really aiming to get into those important muscles on the outside of the leg. This is really important for healthy knees. So I said before, we do a lot of work on the front and the back of the body. Getting into these side but stabilizing muscles is super important. So flexing and lowering. So starting to feel that leg engage. Make sure that you're kicking out like trying to stamp on the wall. Make sure the core is engaged. Nice work. We're going to work here for 5. So moving with control, lifting and lowering. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, we're going to point that top leg, point the toe, and we're going to lift the bottom leg up to meet it. So we're taking a little bit of a banana motion. Top leg stays where it is, and then we're going to squeeze that bottom leg to meet it. Again, should feel loads of work in the side of that leg, the side of the glutes. So squeeze and lower, keeping that point in the top toes. Nice job. Thinking about that core staying engaged, lifting and lowering. Working here for just 5. So slow lower and squeezy lift. 4. Well done. 3. Working to that side body. 2. And let's do both at once. So both toes are pointed and we're going to lift and lower both legs at once. So squeeze to lift and lower. Thinking about feeling that burn in the top of that right leg by now, hopefully. Try not to rush it, just feel that squeeze. Working here for 5. Core stays engaged. 4. Focusing on stability, focusing on the breath. 3, 2, and 1. All right, one more exercise. We're going to bend the knees out in front of us. So we've got the knees are stacked. We're just taking this little crook position, so it's a bit like a little zigzag. And then we're going to open that top leg up to the sky and then lower again. So it's a little clam exercise. So it's quite a subtle movement, but you're just focusing to really get in, squeeze, open out through the hips and slowly return again. So thinking about mobilizing, and again, we're working into the outer edge of that right leg, the top leg. So thinking about opening out, squeeze, feel that power there, feel that squeeze if you can, and lower, keeping the core engaged. So we're opening, so the feet are staying together here. So that means you're having to work using the muscles to open and close. Perfect. Working here for 5. Open out and lower back in. 4. Great job. 3, 2, almost there. And 1, release. All right, from there, roll onto your back. You're going to take whichever leg was on top onto the opposite leg and take the hands through to the bottom leg. So we're finding a supine pigeon, stretching out the leg that we just worked. So aiming to find a lovely big stretch down the back of the glute, down the outside of the leg. Stretching in, inhaling. And exhaling that top leg, hopefully feeling like it's done something. Back of the neck is long, shoulders relaxing. Working there for another 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. 1 more deep breath in. And from there, unraveling your legs, and we're just going to roll over and take that all on the other side. So coming down to lie on one side. Remember, you can have a pillow underneath the hip if you need to, hand under the head. Make sure you feel comfortable. If you want to start off with a bend in this bottom leg, you're very welcome to. From there, remember, we've got the core engaged. We're flexing the top foot and we're kicking out with that top foot and lowering again. So we're coming up to about 45. We're trying not to wiggle from side to side. We're really focusing on that engagement through the leg. So we're thinking about toning the inner and outer thigh, and we're strengthening the glute med. We're thinking about squeezing the glutes. So getting into that lower body. Lowering and lifting. Remembering to breathe. Try not to rush it. Try not to move control. So I always like to imagine that I'm working in water here, that you're working against that resistance of water. So you're just going to drag that foot out and in. So up and down. Hang on in there. We're really close to the end of class now. We've done an awesome job. Worked the abs, the upper body, worked on balance, and just getting right on into the lower body here in this final section. Working here for 5, slow and controlled. 4, well done. 3, 2, and 1. Point the top toes, hover, and then we're going to bring the bottom foot up to meet it, and we're going to lower again. So we're going to squeeze, work into the side body, and lower again. So thinking about powering into that outer glute. We're keeping that top foot pointed, squeezing to lift, and lower. Working here for 5. So lifting and lowering. 4. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, and lowering both legs. Let's do both at once. Put the toes and lift. So working into the side body, into the outer glutes. Squeeze. Try not to rush it. Feel that power in the top of the leg. Blow with control and lift with control. Great stuff. So feeling that squeeze. Try not to wiggle from side to side. Working here for 5. So keep those legs engaged. Try to keep that focus right to the end. 4. Just one more little exercise after this. We're going to take that clam again. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're bending the knees, finding that little setup where we've got a little diagonal from knee to hip, knees over knee, feet stay together as we squeeze open out. Should feel like a nice juicy burn on the outside of that top leg. And then we're slowly lowering back down again. So squeezing to open. Really focus on the contraction of the muscles here. Remember, Pilates is not just about the movements itself. It's about finding that engagement of the muscles in the movement. So you'll get so much out of this if you focus on that squeeze. So when you lift up, feel into those muscles that are working and see if you can contract them. Should feel like a nice big muscle down the outside of the leg there, squeezing. And remember, try not to drop the legs lower. And lift with control. Nice job. Almost there. Hang on in there. Working here for just under 5. Squeeze. And again, nice little mobilization through the hips as well. 4. Deep breaths in and out. 3. Great job. 2. Squeezing movements. And 1. Rolling onto your back there. And we're just going to take whatever was the top leg onto the opposite knee and find a little pigeon stretch there. So just going to spin around. I've ended up the wrong way around. So we're just going to spin around, stretch out, and find that lovely deep stretch down the back of the leg. We just worked our supine pigeon, stretching in there, inhaling and exhaling. Shoulders relaxing, spine is long. Steady breaths in and out. Working here for 3, 2, 1 more deep breath in and release. From there, we're just going to take the hands to the knees, draw some circles with the knees away from each other and towards each other. And then take a happy baby. So you can either take the hands underneath the knees and draw the knees in towards the armpits, or take the peace sign fingers to the toes and have a little wiggle out there. So just a quick little wiggle and stretch. Thinking about drawing the knees in towards the armpits, pressing the whole of the lower back down towards the floor, having a little wiggle, a little stretch for 3. Inhale. So that lovely deep stretch down the outside, inside of the legs. 2. 1 more deep breath in. And from there, we're going to take a little banana asana. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the legs out long on the mat. From there, we're going to hook the right ankle on top of left, and then we're going to move both ankles over to the left. From there, we're going to bring the hands over the head. We're going to take the right hand around the left wrist, and we're just going to start to shimmy the shoulders over to the left. So you'll find yourself in a little banana shape. The left shoulder and left ankle are on the left side of the mat. The right ankle is on top of left, and we're just aiming to stretch out through the side body. So we've got that little stretch through the right side of the body. Deep breaths in and out. So just getting a lovely deep side stretch, really nice part of the body just to give a little attention to. Taking 1 more breath in and out. And then we're just going to shimmy back through center, unravel. Left foot moves on top of right. We're going to move both of the ankles over to the right side of the mat. We're going to take the left hand around the right wrist, hands over the head, and we're going to shimmy the shoulders over to the right of the mat. So now feet are on the right. So we're finding a little curve through the side body. So the hips are moving towards the left. The hands and the feet are on the right of the mat. We'll just take this little stretch through the side body. Lovely little stretch. You can feel right down, maybe even all the way up into that right armpit, that left armpit, left shoulder. Stretching out there for 3, 2, and 1. Release. From there,
Just going to extend the left leg out, hug the right knee in, take left hand to right knee and draw the right knee across the body, take the right arm out wide and find a lovely little half spinal twist. So just releasing through the lumbar spine, finding a little stretch down the outside of the right leg, right arm is extending. So stretching out, inhaling, exhaling for 3, shoulders relaxing, 2, and 1, swapping over, right leg extends, hug in with the left knee and take that little twist on the other side. So right hand to left knee, drawing the left knee across the body, opening up with the left arm, turning the gaze out towards the left, stretching out there. Deep breaths in and out for just 3, 2, and 1. Come back through center. Give yourself a massive squeeze, little stretch. And when you're ready, rock and roll up to seated. All right, just finding a nice, easy seat, sit bones ground, and when you're ready, inhale, reach up, stretch up, interlock the hands, turn the palms to the sky, stretch out through the side body, deep inhale, and exhale, chin to chest, pressing the backs of the hands towards the front of the room, draw the shoulder blades down and apart, find that lovely stretch out through the upper back, taking a deep breath in, and out. And finally, just give yourself a little shoulder roll, have a little shimmy out, and have a smashing rest of your day. Thanks for coming, team. Great job, great job.